Dear students, after studying this module, you shall be able to learn about the basic knowledge of catenanes and rotazenes, understand the nomenclature of rotazenes as well as catenanes. You shall also analyze the chemical topology of rotazenes and catenanes. You will know how to determine the stereochemistry of rotazenes and catenanes as well. And you shall also learn about the properties and applications of rotazenes and catenanes in various fields. Now let us introduce this topic of rotazenes and catenanes. This topic mainly falls under the category of supramolecular chemistry. Now in the late 1970s, there emerged a new branch of chemistry called supramolecular chemistry, and it has managed to expand very rapidly, consecrated by the award of the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, which was conferred upon Dr. C.J. Pedersen, Dr. D.J. Cram and Dr. J.M. Lenn in 1987, who carried out exceptional work in the field of supramolecular chemistry. Catenanes and rotazenes differ from each other and all organic compounds synthesized to this date in a way that molecular subunits are linked mechanically in catenanes as well as rotazenes. Now let us first describe the term catenane for you. Catenane is a compound consisting of two or more rings that are basically interlocked mechanically without there being necessarily any chemical interaction, or so to say any chemical bond between the two subunits. Generally, without breaking a chemical bond, the rings, they cannot be separated. Now catenane is derived from the Latin word catena, which means chain. In recent times, students, the terminology mechanical bond, which is there present in catenanes between the two subunits, has been coined. In that connection between the macrocycle of a catenane has been applied to these macromolecules. Rotazenes. Now let us describe to you the rotazenes and how they are different from catenanes. Rotazenes consist of long, fairly linear molecules which thread through a macrocyclic ring like cotton threads through the eye of a needle. Same as catenanes, although rotazenes also cannot decompose into ring and chain without breaking chemical bonds. Hence, the bulky groups terminated the linear chain part of the molecule, and it is too large to fit through the cyclic fragment. Rotazenes without such physical barriers in which the thread can left the needle are called pseudo-rotazenes. Pseudo-rotazenes are necessary precursors for both rotazenes as well as catenanes. Now let us now understand the chemical topology of catenanes and rotazenes after having described what they actually are. So now you basically know that they are macrocycles, but they are having mechanical bonds, both rotazenes and catenanes. Now students, a compound can be usually described unequivocally by factors like the order in which the given number of atoms are joined together, the types of bonds which connect them, the configuration at an asymmetric atom or rigid centers in that molecule, the conformation as well as the topology, that is the last factor. Now chemical topology deals with the structure and the property differences of compounds which are identical with regard to the aforementioned first 3 points, which were the order in which the given atoms are joined together, the types of bonds which connect them, and the configuration at an asymmetric center or a rigid center. Now students, another one is that which in spite, apart from these factors, they cannot be interconverted by conformational changes. So that is, chemical topology deals with the structure and the property differences of compounds which are identical with regard to the first 3 points, and in spite of that they cannot be interconverted by conformational changes which are conferred upon them, such as rotation about an axis, or modification of bond angles. Compounds which can be suitably classified in this manner are called as topological isomers, and this was done by Frisch and Wassermann. Catenane 1 is described to you here, and the twice threaded catenane, catenane 6 are thus topological isomers, and for similar reasons as stated above, rotazenes is not isomeric with its molecular subunits. Now you can understand the chemical topology by looking and considering this structure. Now consider the catenanes in this figure that is drawn. Since there is no chemical bond between the two rings, Frisch et al. Call it a mechanical bond, whereas Frisch and Wassermann, they suggested topological isomers as a name for these catenanes. However, you will note here, as I previously stated, that rotazenes for this reason cannot be isomeric with its molecular subunits as catenanes can be. Now this is one point of difference between rotazenes as well as catenanes. Now after considering the topological study of catenanes and rotazenes, I shall move on and look into aspects of nomenclature of catenanes and rotazenes. Now just as you know, students, that every organic compound or an inorganic compound has a name to itself, so do catenanes and rotazenes, which are supramolecular structures. Now let us discuss them. The nomenclature of catenanes decided by the number of rings, that is how many number of rings are interlocked to each other, is done. For example, 2-catenane consists of 2 interlocked rings. This is shown to you in the figure. Now analog, that is ane, used in the end, which is similar to alkanes. A catenane mainly consists of an organic fragment, that is, it really consists of a hydrocarbon moiety. Now here I would like to tell you, students, that apart from the name catenane, the term N-catenand and N-catenate are also analogous to crown ethers which are named as cryptands and cryptates for a metal center, that is, they can encapsulate a metal inside their cavity. The interlock ring system can also do the same, and that can act as a ligand in this situation also for a suitable metal ion. So apart from catenane, catenand and catenate are also nomenclature systems for catenanes. The catenand is the free ligand that forms a catenate complex in presence of a suitable metal center. Rotazenes can also be named in an analogous manner, students. In the case of unbranched species, such a numbering system is not necessary. The names of the rings forming a branch to the main chain are numbered with subscripts and placed together with the ring on which branching takes place in one bracket. Now here you can see we have given you numerous examples on the nomenclature of catenanes and rotazenes, and also pseudo-rotazenes. In catenanes and rotazenes containing multiple windings, it is also necessary to designate the winding number, which is designated by a term called alpha. The quantity alpha basically represents the number of times one macrocycle winds about the other. Catenanes which form a ring with themselves are designated as cyclocatenanes. And also you should state here how many times does this wind about itself, which is designated by alpha, as I told you. The example in this figure will definitely clarify your concepts on the nomenclature of cyclocatenanes and rotazenes as well as other catenanes. Now you can see here the concept of nomenclature in this figure clearly. Now let us come to another topic after nomenclature, which is very important, which is the stereochemistry of catenanes and rotazenes. Stereochemistry of catenanes and rotazenes is not a very highly explored topic, students, except for discussion on simple structures of catenanes in particular. Rotazenes have been very minimally dealt with in this area of study. Here we discuss all the possible cases of stereochemistry with you in case of both catenanes as well as rotazenes. Now we will first discuss the stereochemistry of catenanes. The stereochemistry of simple carbocyclic 2 catenanes can be categorized in the first is the catenanes which bear no substituents do not occur as antipodes. Second is the catenanes having substituents in only one of the two rings are stereochemically related to the corresponding uncatenated macrocycles. Catenanes in which each subunit contains two substituents located on the same ring atom are stereochemically related to allenes and spiro compounds. If each ring has two substituents A and B, as shown in the formula in the given figure, a necessary and sufficient condition for the occurrence of enantiomers is that A is not equal to B. Then only they will be called as enantiomers, provided A is not equal to B. That means the substituent A is different from substituent B. The fourth is that catenanes where each subunit contains two substituents located on different ring atoms generally exist as an enantiomeric pair. However, Dornobs pointed out that this may not always be true. Now in this case, consider catenane shown, which is given in the figure, as an example. In this catenane, students, you will notice that each ring has the same two substituents R on different ring atoms. The segments of the individual ring of the catenane have to be of such a nature that the molecule possesses a four-fold alternating axis of symmetry. Now here I would like to reiterate it that this figure in this catenane, each ring is having the same two substituents on different ring atoms. Now the segment of individual rings of the catenane have to be of such a nature that the entire molecule, it possesses a four-fold axis of symmetry, alternating axis of symmetry. In this case, students, the catenane becomes achiral, although the component rings are dissymmetrical. Now this example probably is the most important example of how the catenane becomes achiral. Now fifth point about it is that a type of enantiomerism closely related to catenane is mentioned in point 3 was first pointed out by the scientist Clauson and in more generalized way by Prelog and al. Prelog et al. Are the scientists who have done the nomenclature for RNS systems in chiral compounds, and later by Cruz. Consider two catenanes which are cycloenantiomers in themselves. In order that this difference can be pertinent, each ring of the catenane must consist of at least 3 different segments, even though every segment may appear in both the rings. Now let us consider a special case in point number 6, considering the stereochemistry of catenanes. Special cases may arise if one of the two rings of a catenane is so small or has substituents which are so large that free rotation of one ring within the other is hindered. This case is shown in the figure very clearly, wherein you can see the enantiomers basically arise because large substituents A and B, they prevent the free rotation of the rings, and thus this hindrance makes them occur like enantiomers. Another type of stereoisomerism may arise in catenanes discussed above in the conditions stated in the figure, as you can see. Now both stereoisomers should be separable into two antipodes. Now this figure clearly tells you about the same occurrence of the stereoisomers as antipodes. Next point is that, students, the 2 catenane which is shown here to you in the figure, having a winding number of alpha is equal to 2, that means the ring winds about in number as 2, it is winding twice, is not identical with its mirror image and should therefore be optically active. This isomerism corresponds to the mirror image relation which exists between alpha and beta helices. The stereochemistry of 3 catenanes as well as of the higher catenanes than 3 has not been considered except for very special cases. A possibility to differentiate the three catenanes as depicted in the figure by means of optically active compounds was first pointed out by two scientists, that is Frisch and Wassermann. Now let us discuss the stereochemistry of rotazenes. The stereochemistry of rotazenes closely resembles that of catenanes illustrated with catenane mentioned above in point number 3 as I discussed with you. Now in this figure you will see that the rotazenes shown here, R group is not the same as R dash and A is not the same as B, then it becomes achiral, then it exhibits geometrical isomerism. As in the cases of catenanes, rotazenes may exist as cycloenantiomers too. The compounds are mirror images. As you can see, they are rotazenes, which differ only in the direction of ring segment sequences, and this is how the rotazenes will also exist as cycloenantiomers, and this is how stereoisomerism basically arises in rotazenes as well as catenanes as discussed with you earlier. Now after having looked at the stereochemistry of rotazenes and catenanes, let us come on to the properties and applications of catenanes and rotazenes. Now when I introduced this topic, students, I said that after the Nobel Prize was conferred upon the three scientists who have made major discoveries on supramolecular chemistry, this field actually rose very rapidly. Now one may think that why does one particular field rise very rapidly? It is because the compounds or the supramolecular structures which are actually discovered, they have many applications and they have useful properties for various fields. Now let us discuss all of these. Now we will discuss first the properties and applications of catenanes. An interesting property of many catenanes is the ability of the rings to rotate with respect to one another. This rotational motion of one ring with respect to another can often be detected and measured by NMR spectroscopy amongst other methods. If in the finished catenane molecular recognition motifs exist, usually those that were used to synthesize the catenane can have one or more thermodynamically preferred positions of the rings with respect to each other. If in case one recognition site is a switchable moiety, a mechanical molecular switch results. When a catenane is synthesized by coordination of macrocyclic moieties around a metal center or a metal ion, then removal and reinsertion of the metal can switch the free motion of the rings on and off. Then they can function as molecular switches and can be used in various fields. Now here you can see an example of photochemically driven switching system in case of two catenanes, which finally functions as a molecular switch in different states. As you can see, there is state 1, state 2 and state 3. Catenanes have been synthesized by incorporation of many functional units, including redox active groups. For example, viologen, TTF, that is tetrathiafulvalene, photoisomerizable groups, for example azobenzenes, fluorescent groups as well as many chiral groups. Many of these units have been used to create molecular switches as described above to you in the discussion of two catenanes being converted into molecular switches in different states. As well as they have been used for the fabrication of molecular electronic devices and molecular sensors, which are very useful in many of the fields. Now let us describe you the properties and applications of now rotazenes. Rotazene based molecular machines have been of particular interest for their potential uses in molecular electronics as logical molecular switching elements and also as molecular shuttles. These molecular machines are usually based on macrocycle on the dumbbell. The macrocycle can rotate around the axis of the dumbbell like a wheel and axle, or it can slide along the axis from one side to another. By controlling the position of the macrocycle, it allows the rotazane to function as a molecular switch, with each possible location of the macrocycle corresponding to a different state. These rotazane machines can be manipulated both by chemical and photochemical inputs into it. Rotazane based systems have also been demonstrated as molecular muscles. In 2009, domino effect was reported from one extremity to the other in case of glycorotazane molecular machine. In this case, the 4C1 or the 1C4 chair-like conformation of the mannopyranoside stopper can be controlled depending on the localization of the macrocycle. Unique pseudo-macrocycles consisting of double lasso molecular machines, also known as rotamacrocycles, have been reported in Chemical Science in 2012. So this means, students, that rotazanes and catenanes are of such interest to scientists that each and every day their new applications and properties are being explored for the betterment of the human race, for forming newer molecular switches for functioning in various fields. These structures can be tightened or loosened, that is the structures that I have discussed, that is rotamacrocycles, depending on varying pH. A controllable jump rope movement was also observed in the new molecular machines. Now you can see here how two rotazanes and catenanes are actually getting involved in pyrocutting and shuttling and circumrotation to give you different type of molecular machines and modes of movements which are present in rotazanes as well as catenanes. And you can also see here how the photochemically activated molecular switches are created in case of rotazanes. In the last few years, students, several examples of molecular machines and motors have been designed and constructed. It should be noted, however, that the molecular level machines described in this module, which are formed from rotazanes and catenanes, operate in solution, that is, in an incoherent fashion. Apart from more or less futuristic applications, the extension of the concept of a machine on a molecular level is of interest not only for the development of the upcoming field, that is nanotechnology, but also for the growth of basic research looking at supramolecular chemistry from the viewpoint of functions with references to devices of the macroscopic world is indeed a very interesting exercise which introduces many novel concepts into chemistry as a scientific discipline. Now students, we shall summarize this module for you. Catenanes and rotazanes, as we described, differ from all other organic compounds synthesized to this date in a way that they are molecular subunits which are linked mechanically instead of chemically. We described to you catenane as a compound consisting of two or more rings that are interlocked mechanically without there being necessarily a chemical interaction or a bond between the two. Then we described rotazanes. They are molecules consisting of long, fairly linear molecule threaded through a macrocyclic ring like a cotton ring or a cotton thread threads through an eye of the needle. Chemical topology we discussed, and it deals with the structure and the property differences of compounds which are identical with regard to the aforementioned first 3 points that we discussed with you, and which in spite of that cannot be interconverted by conformational changes. Those 3 points were basically how the atoms are attached, how many of them are attached, etc. Like, you can say conformational changes are the rotation about an axis or modification of the bond angles. In this module, we have classified the catenanes and rotazanes according to their chemical topology, and we have discussed them in detail. Then we learnt about the stereochemistry of catenanes and rotazanes. although it is not a very highly topic which is explored, but for discussion on simple rotazenes and catenanes have been carried out. Rotazenes have been very minimally dealt with in this area of stereochemistry. In this module, we have discussed all possible cases of stereochemistry of catenanes as well as the limited number which are available in case of rotazenes. Catenanes have been synthesized by incorporation of many functional units, especially redox active groups like viologen, tetrathiophylvaline, photoisomerizable groups like azobenzene, fluorescent groups as well as many chiral groups. Now, why am I discussing the synthesis? As I told you earlier, many of these units have been used to create molecular switches as described to you clearly, as well as for the fabrication of molecular electronic devices and molecular sensors. Now, this forms the area of a lot of plethora of research on biotechnology. Rotazene based molecular machines have also been of lot of interest for their potential uses in molecular electronics as logical molecular switching elements and also molecular shuttles. Now students, I think by discussing the properties, applications, stereochemistry and topology, I have given you the reason why I discussed in the introduction why this field of rotazenes and catenanes has been functioning so rapidly and has been progressing so rapidly after the Nobel Prize was given to Pedersen et al. Because their functions and their properties and applications are very wide in range. I hope you develop more interest in this topic after this module. I hope also that this module was very informative to you.